My dad became dangerously obsessed with his therapist after mom died and broke into her house, wearing his wedding tux. So I systematically documented his insanity and orchestrated his downfall in the most psychologically devastating way possible. I was 14 when I walked in on my dad with a rope around his neck. Mom had died giving birth 5 days earlier. The night before she went into labor, I'd watched them slow dancing in our kitchen, talking about how lucky they were. The song they had playing in the background was the song Dad had playing now. I must have spent 10 hours convincing him to untie that rope. And that night, we started looking for therapists. That's when we found Dr. Monroe. She looked eerily similar to Mom, and the moment Dad saw her, he leapt out of his chair and said, "That's the one." At first, I thought him going to therapy was a good thing. He started showering again and eating breakfast. He even smiled when Dr. Monroe suggested he started journaling his feelings. But then little things started happening. He began arriving at his appointments 45 minutes early just to sit in the parking lot and watch her through the office windows. He brought Mom's favorite tea bags to leave in the office break room and baked cookies from Mom's recipe to give to her. Recipe for the other grieving clients. One session he accidentally called Dr. Monroe by Mom's name. He turned red and apologized, but it happened 2 more times after that. The last time he reached across and touched her hand the same way he used to touch Mom's. "I saw Dr. Monroe at Whole Foods yesterday," he told me one evening while making dinner. "Her daughter has the same smile as you did at that age." Something cold settled in my stomach. How do you know what her daughter looks like? "Oh, she was with her." Small world, right? He kept chopping, but his eyes stayed focused on something far away. "She was buying the same yogurt Mom used to get, the strawberry kind with the blue lid." I started finding things. A notebook where he'd written Dr. Monroe's license plate number, receipts from the coffee shop she went to every morning, time-stamped 15 minutes before she usually arrived. He also started leaving the house at weird times. He joined a gym across town that happened to be next to Dr. Monroe's yoga studio. He switched grocery stores to the one near her office and started shopping at the time she did. The calls started coming a month later. Dr. Monroe's office manager phoned to say Dad had been demanding extra sessions and showing up on days he wasn't scheduled. He'd sit in the waiting room for hours, telling other patients about Mom and showing them photos. Then the therapy practice banned him entirely after he waited in the parking lot until Dr. Monroe came out and tried to give her Mom's old jewelry. After they banned him, Dad got worse. He hired a private investigator to find where she'd moved her practice, started calling different therapy offices pretending to be looking for referrals just to hear if she worked there. He created fake social media accounts to follow her and her family. He'd mapped out her jogging route and started running the same path every morning, always staying just far enough behind that she wouldn't notice. The breaking point came 4 months after everything started. Dr. Monroe's husband was traveling for work, and her kids were at a sleepover. He picked the lock and broke into their house at 2 a.m. wearing his wedding tux, the same charcoal gray suit he'd worn to marry Mom. He brought their wedding china and set the dining room table for 2. Their wedding video played on repeat on Dr. Monroe's TV while he taped their wedding photos over every family picture in the house. He laid Mom's wedding dress across her bed and lit candles that spelled out L+P forever on her dresser. The whole house reeked of Mom's perfume. Dr. Monroe came out of the shower in her robe to find him kneeling in her bedroom holding Mom's engagement ring. "I know you came back to me, Linda," he said. "You chose this body and this life as a therapist so you could heal me. Our love story isn't over." She was incredibly freaked, but tried to stay calm and explain she wasn't Linda. Unfortunately, Dad didn't like that. He tried to order her to accept the ring, but Dr. Monroe pulled out her phone. She tried to call 911, but Dad smashed her phone. He blocked the bedroom door and insisted they needed to consummate their reunion. He grabbed her hands and tried to force Mom's ring onto her finger while singing their wedding song. He kept talking about how her kids would be their family again. "Stop pretending you don't remember our first dance," he sobbed while forcing her to slow dance with him. "Stop pretending you don't remember our babies being born." The neighbor heard Dr. Monroe screaming and called the police. When they arrived, Dad told them to check her ID because this was his wife and they were having a marital dispute. He showed them the wedding photos, insisting they could see it was the same person, and they believed him. They actually believed. They left the house and let Dad continue. I need to create a continuation of the provided story beginning that picks up exactly where it left off. The story has established a disturbing situation where a grieving father has become dangerously obsessed with